Welcome everybody to episode 40, Brad, of the latest. I feel that's a milestone, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
10
I think, a lot of people say most podcasts don't last 20 episodes or so.
right.
Uh, but we're going strong. We've missed one for COVID, maybe two for COVID
Yeah,
over the 40
yeah,
weeks.
right. So look, so I guess we've been going close to 11 months. How
Yeah.
much has changed? I'd be interested in looking back at the first one. I'll have to do that this week or when I have time, but but the latest is about the now, right?
Yeah.
And then moving forward and trying to anticipate some things, but I think right when yeah, it's hard to anticipate. And it's just a never ending, yeah, just staying on top of things, doing the research. That's why I'm glad we can bring it to everybody, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, David. I feel like there have been stability on the tools we're using, like the name of the software, but inside that software, I think it has changed in 40 weeks or 42 weeks. I think it's changed immensely.
For sure. And you mentioned Gamma before the call. Gamma, a lot of changes. I hadn't been in it for a while, so we could even dig a little deep into there. Just
Yeah.
interface. Yeah, a lot of different changes with Gamma that I like, and I'll show you a couple things. Gemini have been working with Bruce Bryant on his book cover, and
Okay.
wow, I mean the image things you can do with Gemini that just make it so easy is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can do it
Nano banana that we talked about last week. If anybody didn't see last week, episode 39,
right,
Nano banana is phenomenal.
right. And then how yeah, just combining these things, and I think that it's look, it's important too, because I know with Stone, as we've been going over working with our clients and really have to understand where the data is going, make sure everything we create is clean, owned by our client. We've started seeing some semi shadiness in some of the terms and conditions where they just want to own all your stuff, right?
Mm.
That Higgs field tool, very cool, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that if you use it, they own it.
Wow. Wow. So if you're a commercial art director, if you're a Hollywood director, if you're doing anything that's art that's for a company, like if you work for Nike and then you're Walmart, some of these companies in your mind, you might think that they've got like one or two people that do the ad campaigns, but they've got an untold army of people who are doing projects for them, like Seven Up. I remember people saying, "Oh, I'm doing a campaign for Seven Up." So if you're working and your final product will be aired for a national campaign, and you use some of these tools, what you're saying is that maybe that company could say, "Hey, I own that."
Right, right.
Wow.
So I mean, it's just going to be interesting as far as yeah, where some of this litigation goes. And again, I think we're going to have to see that. I sat in over the last couple weeks some very smart people around AI. The last one, I was surprised there wasn't one mention of security or privacy or I
Mhm.
don't want to sound like alarmist, but just be responsible, right? It's just read the terms. Nothing's free, right? So either
Mhm.
pay them cash, and even if you're doing that, make sure you're looking at what you're agreeing to. And if it's free,
Yeah.
they're using that to train their models, own your stuff potentially. There's a lot of bad actors out there. So just, protect yourself and hit us up if you need any support with that for sure.
Hey, David, at Colonel Sanders Farm, chickens eat free. Did you know that?
That's an
Right? Free food for chickens at Colonel Sanders Ranch.
right.
Which is to say that you might be the food for a bigger machine. Um, I think what comes to mind for me when we're talking about 40 weeks and 40 weeks ago is that 40 weeks ago, some of these tools didn't exist. So these are not legacy companies and major corporations. Some of these AI software tools, just my conjecture, is a handful of people in any nation on the world that probably used AI to look up an agreement, and then took that to a lawyer and said, hey, can you get this going for me? But it might not necessarily be a North American company with North American standards. It could be another nation where you're not familiar with what you're expecting from a software company. And so if they say, hey, and by the way, I own it all, well, that might be what they do in Europe or Eastern Europe or Russia or China or the Middle East or South America or Africa, places that you're not thinking. That might be the law in Indonesia, and you didn't know it was an Indonesian company. Not to pick on any of those places, just that they all have different standards and they all have different expectations. So perhaps the first thing we could say for today's the latest is all these new softwares should come with an ounce of excitement and a pinch of caution, to be aware if the final product is yours, theirs, or everybody's.
Totally. And and usually with these tools, I just go right on to LinkedIn and see who the people are behind it, right? So a lot of people aren't on LinkedIn, so sometimes you have to go a little deeper. But yeah, just know where did they come from? Is this somebody that's been a 10, 20-year veteran in software from and have done some really cool stuff and now elevated to this, or is it some fly by night thing? Are they hiding who's behind it? There's a lot you can find now with just all this information at your fingertips.
So let's have a look at a couple of things. The oldest company, I can use some phony air quotes in AI software, OpenAI's ChatGPT, in November, because we looked this up, the last day of November will mark 3 years, which is relatively young for any company. Like IBM's been around a century, Hewlett Packard's been around for decades, even Adobe's Photoshop has been around for decades. OpenAI is about to turn 3. Even if they existed before that, they only got onto people's radar November 30th of 3 years ago in 2022 with their first iteration of ChatGPT that was released to the public. Because David, the more you and the more I talk to people who know about these things, they say, guys, it's been around for decades. Like we've had that for literally years and years and years, but the public got it about 3 years ago. So that is about the granddaddy of modern AI software is 3. Think about that. A 3-year-old is the OG. And the OG, ChatGPT from OpenAI, Sam Altman and co., they have said just the other day, if I can get the date on this, September 3rd, so yesterday afternoon, that projects are now available to free users. David, do you use projects?
Absolutely. Been using projects for sure. What I haven't been as good about is making sure I have instructions planned in all those projects. Definitely doing more of that. But yeah, projects are amazing. You put instructions right in them, and then just, as you're doing certain things, just dump the chat in there. I have a project, I think that's on Claude for this show. So that right after the show, I can take the closed captionings, dump it in my project, and then it'll give me the description for YouTube with the timestamps. It'll give me the overlay to put into Gamma for the social post. It'll give me, I think we do one or two other things. YouTube, LinkedIn post. Pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, so basically you can cook with a consistent recipe.
Yep.
Right. You can give it a recipe and then say, let's keep cooking with this. You can give it some context, as they call it, upload some files and say, hey, this is the list of people that might be coming to my activity, and this is what they might like. And then you can just cook with that. And it's like having a folder with a consistent set of documents. They call it a project. Before you had to pay for it. Now it's free. And we were joking about chickens at Colonel Sanders because if you know, Colonel Sanders serves people chickens, so they would serve free food to the chickens. This is for free, and I make that joke very lightheartedly, but I'm also pointing that out that this is the free food. It says, in addition, we've added larger file uploads per project. So you can upload 5 files for free into your project. I'll give you a pro tip. You can combine files. David, I learned that through the focus guide process, that I had a bunch of PDFs, and then I was like, oh, I've hit the file limit. So I just merged them into one file, and all of a sudden, hey, I was under the file limit.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a neat tip, right? So they've upped it from 20 to 25. A lot of people are plus users. I think that's the $20 or a ballpark $20 um, membership or subscription.
Right.
And then if you're a pro user, they've upped it to 40. Now you can select colors and icons to customize it, right? So they're showing you if you want to differentiate between your many, many, many chats, you could give them, oh, we didn't need to get that far into it, but you can give them your basic rainbow colors, dollar sign, education, pencil, color palette, music note. You've got a handful of icons per row here. You got 25, 30 icons. That should be pretty good, right? By the time you multiply that by the colors, you've got a lot of differentiation that you're looking for the red airplane or the green airplane or the blue airplane. I want to go back in my browser here and project only memory controls for more tailored content. This is quite cool. This means if I'm in a project, I can say, I want you to remember just for this project. Like if you're scheduling your team, you can be like, Brad and David only do the latest on Thursdays. So only schedule them on Thursdays. That project would know only schedule them on Thursdays. But for the rest of your chat GPT, you're like, I'm available 7 days a week if the project is right. So you can give context to each folder that says, hey, I want you to know this just for this folder. This is a fact just for this context. It's now live on the web, which is where a lot of people use it, and on Android, which sometimes gets some flack. I like Android. And then the iOS users expect that in the coming days. So that's pretty cool from ChatGPT. Why did this not load? What is this? Higgs field, you're talking about there using Nano Banana. But I think
Right.
I want one back instead of one forward. So people are going wild over this, David. I guess like 1 million people have, or close to 1 million people have viewed this in 2 days, right? That's almost
Wow.
900,000 people, and probably more since then. It says, this is how I cracked hiring. It's how to make ChatGPT teach you any skill. So what I'm pointing out here is the latest thing is that like one person is making a super prompt and hundreds of thousands of people are paying attention to it. When really it's just act as a tutor, ask me about the question, give me a breakdown of it and then explain it to me, ask me some questions, give me an exercise, basically be my teacher. And what I find interesting, David, is that for a lot of the way I use ChatGPT, I might just say, be my teacher and assume it will do all those steps. But for people who don't know ChatGPT, it makes you think that you have to have all those steps. That to me isn't a super prompt. That tells me 900,000 people don't believe you can just say to ChatGPT, teach me this.
Right. Well, right. Right. And it knows you, right? So you've already kind of shown it your how you learn, right? It gets to know you. So these are good things where, just training your models is just so important.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of training these things, you can now, if you use Notebook LM, so people who use Notebook LM, a free tool from Google, I won't keep making the Colonel Sanders free food joke, but it's free from Google. Notebook LM is a great place to put pieces of information from your research or from a project, and then chat with just those files or just those documents or just those things. And then, as some of you know, they've done audio overviews. So with a single click in Notebook LM, Notebook will create a 2-person synthetic conversation. So you will hear a man and a woman having an out loud conversation that didn't exist. It's a script that the language model made based on your documents. And it was really trendy, David. People went wild for this stuff. And with good reason. It was a really engaging way to hear a back and forth about the topic that you're giving. So now there are new audio overview formats. This is from September 2nd, so from a couple days ago. The default deep dive thoroughly examines your sources, but you can also get a brief 1 to 2 minute bite-size overview or get it to make a critique, which is an expert review or a debate. So there's 4 different styles. Give me a thorough analysis, give me a brief soundbite, give me an expert review with feedback, or give me a thoughtful debate between the two. I think that's great.
That's amazing.
What you don't often get in just reading the chat GPT is how it sounds. Like to actually have to take the time to listen to it. And when you hear someone say, that's really interesting, I didn't know that chickens laid eggs, you'd be like, oh crap, everybody knew that. Or you might be surprised that it's more fully baked, we can call it, than what you might expect. So that's some of the latest, David. Um, it's a good pivot point because you talked about gamma.
Definitely talked about Gamma. I did speak about some Gemini too. Let me
Yeah.
start with Gemini if that's okay. Because I think just one workflow I had was really cool. Which I did not. Yeah, I didn't know it'd be so easy. And couple things, right? So first of all, research, right? Doing the deep research. I'll just show my we do this month. I do this monthly quantum computing session. And what I can do, which I love, is I started with the deep research, just all about computing. What is it? Who's the players in it? Who the people, the companies, blah, blah, blah. What's new? And then every month I can just jump into the same thread and say, okay, what's happened in the last 30 days? Are there new companies? Have there been new investors in the space? Is there any new news? Then it'll just add to this. And as we have our presentation, I can just kind of go up and, it'll give me the infographic, it'll give me the report that I didn't forget to send out to everybody that showed up. We've been getting more and more people at this. So anyway, anything, if you're leading sessions, might be interesting for brain juice for this stuff, Brad, just to like pop stuff in. It's pretty cool. Now,
So you're just constantly updating the same document. You're like, hey, what's new on this context? Hey, what's new on this
right.
context?
Because our intention with that is just to really help make sure all of our community understands this is going to be kind of the next frontier, or it'll be a next frontier as far as opportunities and things we should know about and companies we should connect with. So really to just know who the players are, I think is important to get ahead of this stuff. um so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hi Jim, I'm maybe I'll use, have we got over prompt cowboy on the latest yet?
Let's show it twice because sometimes we have
All right.
good reason to show something twice. It's a good feature. I liked it.
Okay, so hi, I'm creating a book cover for Bruce Bryan's new book. I will add 3 or 4 images. Please, let's see, please use his headshot as the main image. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take this. I will get the name of the book in a second. Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Prompt Cowboy. I
Which
do
is free, which is free.
just free, so beware. But right, but again, I don't want to like put code in it. I want to put confidential information.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody's stealing Bruce Bryan's story. I don't know if they want to, because Um, okay, boom. So now add put in my lazy, it's supposed to be lazy human prompt, Brad. I feel like that's what they're getting at, but
Yeah.
we'll add that up. It's asking me to sign in, which I should do just so I can keep all my prompts together.
Yeah, I've signed into Prompt Cowboy for that very reason, David, because I almost immediately after using it, I wanted to go back and go, oh, what was that prompt? I saw the value in it.
Yeah, for sure.
What I like about Prompt Cowboy is that there's that side panel, improve your prompt, where I
Yeah,
get to like interact with their suggestions, and it doesn't disappear. It stays there while I interact with it.
yeah. Okay, cool. So now here we put okay, and I forgot he said The new book is which one I use? Prompt incarcerations. Let's just update the prompt. Oh, I probably could have done that with the added things.
Oh, that's all right.
Right. And it's great too, because you put these here, right? It kind of gives you hints, right? So there's an inspirational story and uplifting. Do I have examples of covers? That's interesting. I do not. So I'm not going to put that. Maybe, well, I could put. I'm not gonna. I don't have any right now. That's a great idea for if I as I dig into this. My professional photo. Okay, boom. Now let's hit copy. Let's add this back. Go back to Gemini. Change the prompt out. Let's just grab some pictures of Bruce. He had sent me a few. I know the one on his Instagram page. This is Peter Hurley.
Oh, wow.
So he's got a good
Bruce has
one.
been a busy guy. He's been to Africa. He's been on both coasts. He's been on Joe Rogan.
Right. I can just save him. I can just copy image, paste it right in. And just add it. Real easy, this stuff. Let's see. He sent me a few. Let me just grab those. I'm just gonna put those in from my paste those in from my drag those in from the from my text email he sent me.
Hmm.
See if we find a couple more that might be good.
Did you give the book a title?
Yeah, I did. It was the 29-year journey, although the title we're still not 100% sure about.
Yeah.
Um, Here's the one with him getting out. Let me grab this one with his attorney, Steve Zeidler. Can I not save this? Maybe it will let me get that.
No.
Right. Okay, here, I bet I can get off this page.
There you go.
Copy it. Right, but again, with this, we're taking an image that's been used, you should get clearance before it goes to the book, which we will. Now I'm gonna hit go.
So you're
Actually,
using Gemini.
right, I guess I should change this to images.
Yeah. So you clicked on the tools button and
Right.
added images. Yeah.
Well, edit images, boom.
See, I was going to AI Studio to use Nano Banana only because I think it showed up in Studio before it showed up in Gemini. But they're
Right,
both free tools from Google.
right. And it's interesting with Nano Banana because you can use it in Adobe, it's in Adobe, it's in Higgsfield. All of these have these different, policies on privacy. So you just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give that a minute.
I think for my purposes, David, the internet is so vast and so fast moving that what I'm doing is of no interest to the big data machine. I'm not putting in 50,000 people's banking information. Just like you, I'm maybe making a book cover that'll end up on the internet anyway. It's more of a caution for people in a corporate situation with high privacy issues.
Right. And code and things like that. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe we could say, can you give me
It's giving you like a mashup of all those images.
right? So kind of put it in. Now we asked it for a couple more. So anyway, right, just pasting in the images, create the collage for me. You can really give it direction and tell it what to do. Sometimes I kind of like maybe some of the other ones I did. Which let me just take a look at those. Now it's not using his.
No, but conceptually you could get there.
Right. So, okay, let me just try this last one. Okay. I like the last one, but want you to use his pictures that I had added. Don't care about the type.
The great thing about these tools is they're very forgiving on typos and spelling errors.
Right. Exactly. Um, And I think how these image makers have improved so much. You can kind of say, okay, exactly like that, but add this. Normally,
Yep.
in the past, you could not get the same image twice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's letting you know in the text there that you could change the font and font color.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, just some things. We're gonna continue to work on this. Buy Bruce's book when it comes out in October, everybody, and support him. And we'll have him
Yeah.
come speak at Witty in the next right after the book comes out.
Before we
Okay,
go, could we look at the social media on Gamma? Because I
yes.
know it's something new. I was doing a demo on Tuesday of some software, and then I saw it and I thought, you know what? I don't know enough about that. And I thought, David, you're an ambassador of Gamma. You're a Gambassador.
Totally. All right, so should we just take what we do? I could just take the closed captioning for the show just thus far and put it in there. What do you
If
think?
you want, does it have our pre-chat or does it have just
No,
the
it
meet?
doesn't have the pre-chat. As a matter of fact, I missed a little bit, but
Okay.
but it'll be good, right? So I'm saving chat, showing in Finder, opening it, and I won't use this as the final, but so I
Yeah. Okay.
just to show how I could just take the chat, create new, right? This is the closed captioning. I'm going to paste in the text.
And right there, those four icons: presentation, web page, document, and social. Social is the one. And then it lets you choose if you want Square social media or um, portrait or stories.
Stories, right? Which maybe for let's try stories for not for sisters will be for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Now the options here generate from notes or outline, summarize long text for a document. I think maybe generate from notes.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to preserve the text verbatim because then it would say Brad Rochefort 064558.
Right. Episode 40 of the latest. Just 'cause I missed the part where we said that. You can just throw stuff in, it'll create it. Boom. Now let's go to this is where they have the different layout too, Brad, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Free form. We'll just have it generated. Text every professional's business. You can kind of look at who you're pointing to, how many
Hmm.
cards you want in the carousel. Is 10 too much?
Nah, let's go for it.
Okay, cool. We'll stay with our blue we've been doing image art. Auto selects new. You can pick a specific image model or just say, hey, you pick it based on what we're doing. Um, so we'll do that.
There's one setting at the bottom that said format. I haven't seen that one.
Right. So yeah.
Okay. And then stories. Yeah. So we already chose those. Yeah. Okay.
So here we go.
This is Gamma.
So this is Gamma creating that. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to go to Claude real quick. Let me dump in the chat.
So this is your process to take a live Zoom transcript and turn it into social media posts.
Right. I already have a project here. The latest with Brad and David. I could throw it in. I don't have to say anything. It knows what to do based on instructions. This is moving still. So now what it's doing is it's giving us
For YouTube.
right. So this is the description I'll put in YouTube. I started it, like I said, a few minutes late. So I'm going to go back in and say this is the 40th episode.
Yeah. You might be able to use my Fireflies notes, but don't
Oh
stress
yeah,
it.
we'll give it back. Yeah, okay, send it to me. I'll do that for the YouTube description. Send it to me when you have a chance.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so now it's still loading. Wait a minute, why does it only have okay. Right, so I think it might be complete, right? So I can go down, look at it. AI tools, no free launch.
Now, if you wanted, you could spend all afternoon, page by page, image by image, making it as custom as you wanted.
Right. And I could swap it out at the last, after the fact. If I want a different size, headings, do I want to upload images or add images? Right? Do I not like some of them? Is this one right? This is a new feature. Please add graphic to this panel. Okay, so now it goes over here and it kind of gives you a chat window so you can chat with it about each panel,
Hmm.
right? And then when it gives me the new one, I can say, "Oh, I like this. I like this,"
Yeah.
or go back to this one and play off that, or I could go to this one, say put Colonel Sanders in or something, right? Same case, we'll keep that as is. Add graphic, right? So now we're going to that one, add a graphic. So anyway, we're
Yeah.
going right. Perfect. Now it's complete. We'll just go with it as it is. Actually, these are little add graphic. We're just rushing through this. I know we're running a little late. And before the hour and a half or hour 45, we have the think tank. So all are welcome. Let's see. Add graphic. Oops, graphic. It knows what I mean. This AI is so smart. I like these graphics. I mean, I think it looks good when you kind of color it up a little bit. I might as well. Yeah, and then for this one, we'll say add graphic on top. You just get everything simultaneously going. I'm liking this, Brad. What do you think? You say told to add graphic across the top. That's cool. I
It's
haven't,
just, it's amazing, David. It's absolutely amazing that, within 3 minutes, you've got this world-class presentation.
right? Now I'm sharing. I'm going to share.
And I say world-class for a reason. I looked at Harvey, our friend, Dr. Harvey Castro, Dr. GPT Harvey Castro. I looked at his post the other day of him on stage in Denmark, and he made a song using one of the song generators, and he had the whole audience clapping, and he danced with one of the other moderators on stage, grabbed her hand, and they danced while the song played. And if you saw this, the whole audience was clapping to his AI prompt song. So it's important to emphasize people really are still impressed. Like millions and millions of people are still impressed with what the insiders, I'll call you an insider if you're watching the latest. Insiders know these things take minutes, but the general audience is still very, very impressed with an AI generated song that sounds good or an AI generated presentation that looks good. It's still out of reach for, I would say, the majority of people. Not out of reach intellectually, just they're not even looking of how to do this or where to go.
Yes, I know I spelled carousel. I'm rushing. I'm just like, let me get it close. It'll know what I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah,
So this was happening. Notice I just put in, you can't do a lot. Once you post, I post it,
yeah.
get the post, right?
Ah, and you let Claude give you the detailed post.
Right. Okay. This is way too long. Please shorten this, and the show just ended, but they can still watch. Okay, so this is done. So here it is.
Yeah. It's
And
very meta that we're teaching people how to use these tools and then it's happening live. It's very,
now
very cool.
totally. So now I'm just going up here, edit post, come back here.
So now you're in Claude. So you went from Gamma to make the presentation, then you went to Claude, the project that has context, and today's presentation, you uploaded it, and you said, hey, I'd like the LinkedIn title for this. I mean, I can watch you do this very quickly because you're great at these tools, David, especially at LinkedIn. But for those of you that are not familiar with this, we're switching between LinkedIn, Gamma, and Claude. Claude has context. Gamma has the presentation. LinkedIn is where David's posting this. The free lunch that could cost you everything. What a great title.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so now
Do you think, because we're making that the title of the episode, let's actually cover in the content. Do you think that there are cases where people using free software does actually cost them everything? What do you think it is the case? I know there's at least a few. What's the case where someone uses the free tool and then they put that data out into the world? What's the case that that's high cost?
create a password for me I could use for my bank account, right? I mean, you'd think that that's
Yeah.
something you would
Wow.
do, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I think as much as there's computer security, what you were saying earlier is a lot of these young software companies aren't security focused to the same degree that like a Microsoft or an Apple is. Trillion-dollar companies or three multi-trillion dollar companies have entire teams of people focused on this. Some of these softwares have like 10 people total. Um, and when security issues come up, like you're saying, if you used it for security about your finances, security about your personhood, um, I would be highly, highly cautious about, like you're saying, generating passwords, generating uh, detailed information, giving it very specific details. Um, I'm always pro AI
yeah,
software, and at the same time cautious, rightfully so, um, of what I'm giving away.
totally.
But at the same time,
All
I like
right. So
giving away the latest. I like being on the latest and talking about the latest in tech. This is a fun half hour here.
absolutely. So here we'll copy in a few people that will help push it. Brooks and Lisa Tipton.
I think when you went
You know, you,
to
you could also
before
do
you
like, go ahead.
before you post you in the title line just about the latest with David, you went to click me and it clicked you.
Oh, no, it's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah, you click the top icon there. There you go.
Me saying like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Some other little tricks. We'll get into a LinkedIn episode later, but if I wanted to do like project managers, I could just go at PMP and then it'll bring up any of my friends that are project managers. We'll add Janelle to that, right? Or at, W if I just want to see, okay, who, oh, YL, who built our website at Stone AI, at Michael,
I think we should
at,
do an episode, David, that's just of the latest via LinkedIn, because I feel like a lot of people watch us on LinkedIn or learn about us on LinkedIn and would really benefit. Anytime you start going deep on LinkedIn, it's fascinating. I know everybody learns. I learn every time, and I'm always encouraging you, like, show us what you do on LinkedIn because it's real cool.
yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, well, here we go. I could also, well, I guess how interesting this, I have to do it there. Anyway, we'll get into more of that next time. I'm going to hit go to my LinkedIn to see it. Here's how the carousel comes out. I think that's the latest, Brad. I do like this size. We'll have to try some other size for future shows, but we'll go over that
Mhm.
later at 9.
Yeah, I think that's a great demonstration live of Gamma's social media format to show you how quick it goes from we're talking about it, it goes into Gamma, it goes on to your social media, it looks good. In today's era of social media, don't spend all day on a social media post that people scroll by in a blink. Um, the way you do it, David, is so efficient. And you're right, I think that's the latest.
Yes. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week. Oh, today. AI Think Tank at 9, witty.com, Michael Knopfsinger, AI and procurement. That's at noon Pacific. That's amazing how he's helping people find the money.
Yeah.
Linkcast tomorrow, we'll find out where the money went the previous month, all sorts of things. Oh, and then Human's going to be our speaker on Saturday. Talking about how he's used AI to do his murals he's putting up at universities around the country. So I think that'll be cool. Anything
Don't
special for Brain Juice on Monday, Brad? Or have you not even thought about that yet?
Brain Juice is a live session. You got to be there to know about it.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.